Hey YouTube, today I'm doing a lovely ride along the Skunk Creek, which is right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And you can see if you look over to the right there, somebody on the other side. So there's paths on both sides of the creek. Just like in the Big Sioux River, there's paths on both sides of that too. My destination today is a place called Family Park, which is very far northwest of the city of Sioux Falls. But my goal is to get there and chill, relax. There are lakes there, so they're man-made lakes, but they're beautiful nonetheless, and you can go fishing there and check out all the, I think they have trout and bass and catfish, crappie, that kind of stuff. Hello. But I'm not going to be fishing today. Not sure if you guys can hear that, but I have a can of soda in the back that just keeps knocking around every time I hit a bump. Oh well, I'll just try not to hit too many bumps, that's all. Some other bikers over there, I should say cyclists. You know, if you call a cyclist a biker or a biker a cyclist, then, you know, you get someone mad at you probably. Right now it's 85 degrees and the humidity is pretty high. It was 75% humidity when I checked before the ride here, which, you know, for those who don't know, that's high humidity makes everything feel so much more oppressive and heavy. You're breathing in that thick, moist air, so it feels like, I don't even know how to describe it. You have to actually experience it. But it's not too bad at 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It's doable, no problem. Today is July 5th, 2026, so it's the Sunday, right after the big 250th 4th of July celebration. I hope all of you had a really good day and got to spend time with your friends and family and hopefully light off some fireworks, maybe barbecue some burgers or whatever. I went over to a neighbor's house, so they did all the work while I sat and drank beer and ate. Not that I didn't help with some things, you know, but I didn't have to do any cooking or cleaning or any of that stuff. It sure was a lot of fun, though. And we did the typical Midwest thing, which is bratwurst. So in the Midwest, everybody eats bratwurst, and it's good. So I had bratwurst and then some baby back ribs. Good stuff. Can't complain about that. But then the fireworks show was great because, you know, in South Dakota, everybody's lighting off fireworks. In the city of Sioux Falls, they are illegal to shoot off in the city, you know, anything that goes up in the air. Oh look, closed during construction, okay. How am I gonna get around this? Detour, all right. When you go on D-vacation, you take detour. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, I see. It's gonna take us out onto the path on the other side. I wonder why that road's closed. Maybe they're fixing some issues with the sidewalk or something. I mean, these are all nicely paved concrete paths, so I can't imagine there's too much damage on them, but who knows? I'm going this way. Oh, that shade feels nice. Those little bits of shade, you gotta love those. I'll just go across the grass here. Oh, actually I don't need to. It's right here. Make a left. Big bump it looks like, but let's just go over this. Yeah. I know my way. See, this is the stuff I hate. See right here in front. Bunch of assholes. I'm sorry. Bunch of jerks decided to light off a bunch of fireworks last night, which is great, but they don't clean up their mess. But back to fireworks. So in the city of Sioux Falls, it's legal to have fireworks that are, you know, like the fountains and things like that you can do on the ground, but they don't allow you to legally shoot off fireworks that go up in the air. But that doesn't stop anybody. I mean, all around me last night, there were some beautiful fireworks going off. Big flowers and things like that. Loving it. I'm gonna check that can of soda. So let's stop for a minute. There's my bike. That's the Aventon Adventure 3. Beautiful bike, isn't it? So this is the thing that's making all the noise right here. Clanking around. Dr. Death. All right, let's put this in a better spot. I don't want it to make a ton of noise. We'll just throw it in here. And that fits. All right. And we're off. So Family Park is probably about, I don't know, 4 more miles from here. Not bad at all, but there's a beautiful path right next to the Skunk Creek, which is the Skunk Creek is basically, let me adjust this here. Don't mind my hand. So Skunk Creek is like a Y. So, you know, if you think of the Big Sioux River, it kind of branches off into a Y, and you get this creek called Skunk Creek, which doesn't go for very long, but they put a nice bike path next to that creek, and it's beautiful. We're going to be getting back onto that bike path right now after this detour. I am curious what the whole detour is all about, but no bother. This side looks good. So if you look to the left, there's no road closure there, but it did have a sign that said detour. But we're back on the path again. Here we go. You know, I want to stay away from all the city stuff, like parking lots and city streets. Let's enjoy bike paths out in nature, right? It's a beautiful day. You know, sure, it's 85 degrees and humid, but it's gorgeous. Very nice ride today. And you'll see as we go around these paths that there's a lot of crisscrossing bridges that'll go over the creek, and you can get a good look at it. I'll have to stop and show you those. Here's one up ahead. Ah, the shade is good. Yeah, we're getting on the bridge. Oh, there's Skunk Creek. So you see it's not a fast moving river, but there is a current going in there for sure. Heading north to south, it looks like. There's a lot of beautiful bridges like this on the Skunk Creek Trail. And that's nice. We're in Dunham Park right now. So you see the river was winding like a snake. And so we're back over the river again. So there's another view of it. I say river, but you know, Skunk Creek, whatever, creek, river. Big old rock out there. So beautiful though. Oh, yeah, you can see oh, I think those are cranes over there by the rapids. If you can see them on the camera, I'm not sure. They just swoop down really low and they'll eat fish and other things. Hello. So you would think with high humidity, with moisture in the air, that you would cool off easier. But it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. You know, typically when the air is drier, your body sweats and the air will cool you by drying the moisture off of you. That gives you like a cooling effect. But when the humidity is really high, you'll just sweat and sweat and sweat, and your body doesn't cool down very well because you don't get that nice dry air to blow across you and cool you off. Here's a nice view. Let's take a look here. See, and much like the Big Sioux River, this creek is a muddy bottom river, so it always has a brown look to it. And you can hear a frog, hear it. Sounded like a frog in there. Lots of wildlife around here. I've been seeing a lot of dragonflies bobbing up and down in these weeds. Very nice. That's good, they're training their dog. I like when people train their dogs not to freak out when a bicycle goes by. You can hear a lot of crickets going. Which is funny because it's 1 in the afternoon. But yeah, lots of crickets are chirping. Well, now we're in Legacy Park, which is a very small park it's in the northwest side of Sioux Falls, off of 10th Street, or Russell, I think is what they call it out here. there's the creek again. See how many times it winds around? Not sure if you guys can see on the camera because it all gets blocked by these bars. But there's the other side. Let's go. Welcome to Legacy Park. We're gonna go past Legacy Park underneath the 10th Street over here. And then there's this beautiful path that will take us to Family Park. That's what I wanted to show everyone. It's beautiful. And that's where I'll stop and enjoy my day for a little while and enjoy the lakes. There's some beautiful lakes there. They're small, but they're pretty. Probably people out there fishing right now. We went right back over the creek again. So one time I parked here at Legacy Park, which we just went past, and I went down Skunk Creek the other direction. So you can check that out on my YouTube channel. You can look at the Skunk Creek Part 1. There is a Part 2 to that, but the funny part of Part 2 is that I missed my turn and I didn't actually get back onto Skunk Creek. I got onto the Big Sioux River path instead, but it's pretty funny. That's a good video as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, because then you'll see more videos like this if you enjoy these types of videos. There's Skunk Creek. What's nice about the low current is that you can cast a good bait in there and let it sink to the bottom, and there's probably some really good catfish in there because of the murkiness. They love that kind of muddy bottom. Low. So catfish like that kind of thing. And you see over here to the left of me, that's all soybean fields, soybean crop. You haven't seen that before. So the main crops you're gonna see out here in Sioux Falls is corn and soybean. And to be honest, I don't think anything else is grown out here. Maybe some alfalfa or something, things that they can make hay out of, hay bales for feeding livestock. But I would say 99% of the crops out here are gonna be corn and they're gonna be soybean. And it's mostly used for feeding livestock. And the corn is also used for ethanol. It's not the type of corn that humans eat. So it's not like a corn on the cob kind of corn that you might be thinking of. On your left. The birds are really chirping nicely today. It's pretty. You see how beautiful it is out here as you get closer to Family Park? Just those beautiful fields out there to my left. Isn't that nice? Now we're coming up to a bridge here. Hello. There's Skunk Creek again. You get a better view of it here without the bars in the way. Those nice houses across the way there. Isn't that beautiful? Very picturesque. The unfortunate thing is the camera doesn't really pick up on all the colorful flowers. I know it won't. Like, you might be able to see some purple and pink out there to the right. But for the most part, whenever I go back to editing and look at what the camera captures, it's hard to spot the flowers, especially if they're kind of far away, because the lens on the camera, on these action cameras in general, it just makes everything look so far away so that you can capture a lot in the action. And I have mine set to the lowest setting, right? You can go super wide angle on it. And then you get like this crazy fish islands look, and it's very distracting. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you ever see those Action 360 cameras? I think they're absolutely horrible. A lot of people who do these bike rides, they'll use the 360 cameras because it gives you like this full 360-degree view, and it's the most abhorrent, horrible fish eye lens effect you'll ever see. It's very distracting. Now, it's just for me. That's my opinion, right? You guys might love it. But when I'm out here in these rides, I want things to look as near to normal as possible. Look at this. Let's listen to nature, huh? There you go. That's what it sounds like when the bike is stopped and you're just listening to nature. You don't get any of the highway sounds out here either. We're far from any of the main roads, the annoying, noisy ones. And we're going over the creek again. There's right, there's left. Another person on his Aventon adventure, it looked like. Maybe not though. I'll have to look at it in editing. Check out these guys just tripping out, or just relaxing and enjoying the day. Can you see that black mass right there? That's a bunch of Black Angus cattle. You're just enjoying the shade over there. Beautiful, huh? That's what cattle is supposed to be like. They're supposed to be out here grazing on natural grasses. Stay away from all that cattle that's raised in muddy farms where they just stand in mud and their own excrement and piss and flies all over them, and they're just being fed soybeans and corn all the time. Yeah, most of the meat you eat is like that. But when they say grass-fed beef, it's like what we were just looking at. That's the good stuff to eat. It's healthy for you. Now granted, they still, most likely they'll still, maybe the last week of their life or the last 2 weeks or whatever it is, they'll take the cattle and they will feed them corn and soy just to add some fat to the meat. So that's actually something I think that happens almost all the time, unless it says 100% grass-fed. But to be honest, you do want some fat in that meat. If you're just eating very lean meat, it's going to be kind of tough and chewy. You get some layers of fat in there from corn and soy. It tastes so much better. So much easier to chew on and eat and digest, and gives it that sweet flavor. But the thing is, like I come from Southern California, and if you go visit the areas where they raise cattle up there for meat, I mean, they're literally all standing in these big dirt fields, and you wonder, what do these cows do, right? And they just huddle under these overhangs, these roofs that they put out there to keep them in the shade. But then they go up to troughs and eat all day, and they're just being fed whatever feed the rancher wants to give them. And most of it's garbage. You want them to eat natural stuff. Because whatever they're putting in their body is what you're putting into your body. So anyways, here we are. This is Family Park. We'll take a quick look at the lake here and we'll call it for the day. I think we've been over 20 minutes easy. Welcome to Family Park. Isn't that beautiful, folks? Isn't that nice? I'm gonna stop my bike and call it a day. So thank you all for wasting your time with me and enjoying Sioux Falls with me. Get to see this beautiful place. So thanks again. Till next time.